Vice-Chancellor and President, it's a great honor and privilege to introduce our honorary graduate, Magid Magid. Born in Burao, Somaliland, and arriving in Sheffield as a refugee with his family, Magid's story is one of courage and defiance against the odds. Today, Magid is a Somali-British activist championing racial and climate justice, a former politician and an author. Magid is a living testament to the fact that the personal is political. His commitment to changing the world isn't simply idealistic, but born from experience with and deep understanding of the global struggles for equality and justice. Magid made his earliest forays into politics as a student at the University of Hull, where he became president of the university's student union. From the very beginning, Magid was driven by a passion for justice rather than an interest in party politics. After obtaining his degree in aquatic zoology, the ideal preparation for a political career, Magid returned to Sheffield, where he was confronted with the scars left by austerity. Wanting to do something tangible, Magid joined the Green Party, became an elected councillor, and quickly progressed to the position of Lord Mayor of Sheffield. Magid's appointment as Lord Mayor of Sheffield in 2018 signified a seismic shift in the British political landscape. He became the city's first Muslim and the youngest ever Lord Mayor at only 28. No pressure. With his infectious charisma, Magid revitalized the role and challenged people's expectations of what representative politics look and act like. In 2019, amidst the shifting European political landscape, Magid was elected as a member of the European Parliament for Yorkshire and Humber, a region that had previously elected the far-right British National Party, BNP, as its representative, now elected Magid on a platform centered on social, climate, and migrant justice. Since leaving the European Parliament, Magid has continued to be an active voice for change. He founded and leads the Pan-European Union of Justice. Union of Justice is an independent organization dedicated to racial justice and climate justice that empowers those most affected to bring about change in their own communities. Union of Justice is also conducting groundbreaking research which explores the historical and current climate injustices faced by communities of color. Magid's awakening to the profound links between climate change and marginalized communities came after learning from his own family about the droughts in Somalia, which fueled a humanitarian crisis. His work is inspired by the conviction that the fight for climate justice is a fundamental expression of racial justice, based on the recognition that communities of color in the Global South and the Global North are disproportionately impacted. Magid is currently the chair of two refugee charities, Safe Passage International and City of Sanctuary Sheffield. As the University of York is a university of sanctuary, we especially applaud Magid's unwavering commitment to refugee rights and look forward to him encouraging us to continue our work on refugee student inclusion and, where necessary, hold us to account on our promises. What's remarkable is that Magid is able to combine his deep commitment to social justice with a sense of humor. We know that this is not self-evident for politicians. His political tenure has been marked by a unique use of style and creativity to engage a new demographic of citizens in the political process. His recent book, The Art of Disruption, a manifesto for real change, is a guide to being courageous and disrupting power structures. The chapter titles of the book are a testament to Magid's style. Chapter 1 is entitled Be Kind. Chapter 2, Don't Be a Prick. And the final concluding chapter, You've Got This. But don't be misled, thinking that there's no substance and sensitivity behind these snappy chapter titles. Magid's book also shows its strength in its expressions of vulnerability. Let me quote his own words. Everything worthwhile I've ever achieved has started with an element of fear and discomfort. I've even started to use it as a barometer. The more scared and nervous something makes me feel, within reason of course, the more I push myself to do it. It's become a familiar feeling that I acknowledge and welcome. Magid has received numerous awards. He was named one of the Times 100 Rising Stars shaping the future of the world, won Young World Politician of the Year in 2019, and European Young Leader 2019. Today, we add another honor by conferring this honorary doctorate. Last year, we invited Magid to the University of York as the dinner speaker for the Political Studies Association conference. We asked him to speak to our chosen conference theme, Politics from the Margins. While COVID prevented him from joining us in person, we were immensely grateful that he still delivered an incredibly inspiring speech remotely. We are therefore even more delighted that Magid is present here today. Vice-Chancellor and President, the significance of Magid's tireless dedication to justice cannot be overstated, especially in a context where it is so important to ensure that there's a place in academia, and indeed the world, for those who dare to be different, those who refuse to be silenced, and those who strive to make the world a better place. It's therefore with great pleasure that I present to you Magid Magid for the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
So, through the power vested in me by the University of York, I have the greatest pleasure in conferring upon you the degree of Doctor of the University, honoris causa.
Thank you very much. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Vice Chancellor, esteemed faculty, honored guests, excited parents, Hoya, Hanan, Fatima, and most importantly, graduates. It is with deep humility and a sense of tremendous honor and gratitude that I stand before you today. Not just as Magid, but as a symbol of the idea that nothing and nobody should be defined by the circumstances of their birth. The honorary doctorate I received today represents not only my journey, but also the incredible potential inherent in all of us. Looking at here today, I see a sea of potential. The potential to change the world, one graduate at a time. But that change doesn't come easy, you see. The world we live in today is marked by tremendous challenges. The climate crisis, economic inequality, political divisiveness, and so much more. Yet it is also a world full of unparalleled potential. It's a world that needs young, dynamic, creative problem solvers. It's a world that needs you. Over the past few years, my journey as an activist, a politician, and as a citizen of this vast and wondrous world has instilled in me a powerful belief. A belief that no matter how bleak our circumstances may be, there is an enduring ember of hope, even in the darkest corners. It has taught me three key valuable lessons in politics and in life, and I believe they are worth sharing, especially on such an auspicious day as this. Lesson number one, courage is contagious. You see, courage is not just a personal trait, it's a societal catalyst. It is the most important virtue because it is the greatest enabling virtue. Because without courage, we cannot realize any other virtues like justice, humility, and hope. To have courage is not only to face your fears, but to also look unflinchingly at the difficult circumstances and muster the will to overcome our natural fear, because our tendency to be indifferent or to put our heads in the sand is the biggest obstacle to progress and change. Because the opposite of courage is simply not cowardice. It is even worse than that. It is indifference. And as much as courage is contagious, so is indifference to injustice. And as the great Jewish philosopher Abraham Joshua Heschel said, indifference to evil is more insidious than evil itself. It is a silent justification affording evil acceptability in society. So in this unprecedented journey we call life, never belittle the ripples that you can cause. When you resolutely take a stand, when you audaciously challenge the status quo, every time you paint outside the conventional lines, not only does that hope flourish, but it dances. It causes a life of its own, an infectious rhythm that stirs the hearts of those around you, emboldening them to also take a stand, to be the difference. This I promise you. Our audacity today can be the spark that lights someone else's courage tomorrow. Lesson number 2, cake is a coping mechanism. You heard me right. Cake, my friends, is a coping mechanism. We all have coping mechanisms, you see. We all need them. These small rituals anchor us amidst the chaos of existence. It may be yoga for some, playing sports for others, painting, or even dancing. For me, despite what my dentist or my waistline tells me, my solace comes in the form of cake. Every delicious crumb of it. The buttery flapjacks swimming in a sea of custard. A tower of tiramisu, each layer a testament to the delicate intertwining of cocoa, espresso, and mascarpone, whispering tales of Italian romance. The glistening lemon drizzle, every droplet, a citrusy kiss against the tender crumb, waltzing to the rhythm of tart and sweet. The dark and dense chocolate fudge cake, a nocturnal symphony with its rich cocoa notes, playing in an unending concert of indulgence. And the majestic, awe-inspiring, sticky toffee pudding. With its warm toffee seeping into the soft sponge, mirroring the soothing, decadent comfort seeping into my soul, bringing me sweet serenity in the face of chaos. In all seriousness, these, my friends, are the simple joys that restore me. It's a sweet reminder, quite literally, that amidst the battles we fight, the change we strive for, we must take time to take care of ourselves, look out for our mates, and when in doubt, share a slice of cake. Because in the race to change the world, we mustn't forget to savor its delights too. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, the third lesson is compassion, compassion, compassion. Regardless of what career or line of work you go into, compassion must be at the heart and center of everything we do. Why compassion, you ask? Because compassion isn't merely sentimentality. It isn't just about feeling sorry for others. It's the art of extending a hand, of uplifting one another, of resonating with the pain of our fellow beings. It is compassion that challenges us to step into the shoes of others, to see the world from a different perspective, and to choose hope over disdain and unity over division. Yes, we are living through polarizing, difficult times, where we will encounter events, words, and people that infuriate and test us. But we need to be strong, be understanding, work collaboratively, and most important of all, show compassion. For friends, compassion is the ultimate manifestation of strength. You see, the world as we perceive it today, its systems and structures did not materialize out of thin air, nor were they formed by the laws of nature. Each norm, each institution, and each practice was an intentional construct of humanity. The crises we confront today are not divine punishments, but the result of misguided human choices, often made behind polished desks in well-tailored suits. However, if the root of our predicaments lies in human decisions, so too does our salvation. Through the deliberate, informed actions, we have the power to radically transform our world for the better. And that means doing things differently. And yes, it can be scary. There are people who will hate you for it, but I promise you there are people who will love you for it, who will join you in it. And even more importantly, you will risk changing the world in small ways and large ways and middle ways in between. But if you keep doing things how they've always been done, if you stick to norms and traditions, and what is tradition if it isn't peer pressure from dead people, right? Then you, my friend, will risk never knowing what it's like to succeed or to fail in the pursuit of great endeavors. And when it seems like the odds are stacked against you, remember, you are not alone. There are so many people out there rooting for you, believing in you. They are the ones helping you get back on your feet when you stumble, even when they themselves are falling apart. Cherish them. Graduates, as you step forth into your future armored with knowledge, remember these 3 lessons. Be the contagion of your courage. find your cake of comfort and let compassion be your guide. To the parents and faculty who have guided and supported these fine individuals, thank you. Your role in their journey is not to be underestimated. Congratulations once again on your well-earned success. I look forward to seeing the bridges you will build, the mountains you will scale, and the world you will shape. On that final note, let us all make a promise. Not to denigrate, but to inspire. Rather than bemoan the present, let's paint a picture of what can be. Instead of inciting hatred and instilling fear, let's rise above the chorus of our age and dare to sing a different song. Thank you.